My man tells me in season. I'm a family, I 20 members. First of all, when the white men come and do the farm, first of all, you must remove your cattle, all of them. It doesn't want the cattle. Nothing. All of them. So maybe the criteria they are using to remove all the black people on their farms.
So,
when somebody dies here, he must not be buried here, according to him. He must be taken to location. So there mustn't be anyone who's buried here. So my dad died in 2020, my mother 2023. But I did bury them there. So he was fighting. So no one must be buried here because that place, it doesn't belong to us any longer.
White from here, and his feet is white. The rest is tan. It becomes an emotional thing for farmers. I'm speaking of farmers specifically now. You know, they just want to take it. You know, we had this drought, low margin stuff, etc., etc. So it's more an emotional thing. And you know, I think if we have the right, my view on this new thing is, there's more than enough checks and balances in place before we get to the zero number for any. It's not only land. You know, this new law can take anything. You can come and take your house. If you want your car, they can take it. But there's a lot of checks and balances in place and a process that must go through.
Is that so you can do a head count effectively of your future death?
Also got the award twice for the sheep man for South Africa.
Right, right.
I don't type with just one finger, but I do. We don't believe there are land being confiscated now, but we cannot just rubbish those remarks to say it's not something that can happen. We are saying it could happen in future. And then I think the other thing that is also of importance is the fact that he said certain sectors of society are treated, what he wrote, very badly in capital letters. And I think that is true, even though people might deny it. Nobody has to ask the international community to act against the infringement on property rights. That is natural what capital does. Capital flees expropriation without compensation. But we don't want capital to go out of the country, so the international community can, through diplomatic methods, speak to the South African government and say this would be harmful.
Majority 66.6, and then there's a supermajority 75%. One of those is Section 1 of the Constitution, and then there are others that in any modern democracy, whether it is in England or France or in America, the state needs the power to expropriate private property in order to use it for its own sake. Because the state is a collection of all of our interests and acts in the public interest, it needs the power to override private interests. And this is the law everywhere in the world. The brutal and genocidal conquest of the 18th and 19th century mineral resources. In the 2013 case where when people say that I bought my land after the end of apartheid and I worked hard for it and I saved a lot of money and I bought this land. That would have been the case if we did not have apartheid, right? It would have been understandable if we did not have apartheid. And those arguments tend to mask the reality of apartheid. Because apartheid was not just a political system, it was also an economic system. And it created an economy of its own kind by locking black people out from participation.